Okay. Guest speaker, Mark Colans, 5 minutes.
Thank you.
You asked for 5 minutes, that's what you're getting.
That's good. I don't think you have a crowd tonight, and I'll be very brief. I just thank you for the opportunity to say a few words, and really my purpose is just to update you on a few odds and ends associated with the possibility of the proposed cycle racetrack. So I wanted to just let you know that I informed Manway Township zoning inspector that some of his residents might be affected from that, and he told me he would inform the trustees of Manway Township. I think you were provided a copy of a notice that Nathan Eprick put on Facebook requesting interest in 200-plus truckloads of soil to place along his property line for privacy mounds. I think you have that copy. The online petition objecting to the motocross trail and track has now been signed by over 340 residents. And lastly, to maintain transparency regarding my personal actions with this, I have sent a copy of my May 20th statement, or provided a copy of my April 20th statement to the Auburn, to the Board of Zoning Appeals members and the Auburn Zoning Commission members, because I just want to be transparent on what I'm doing as just a resident. So that's it.
All right. Thank you for the update.
Thank you.
Okay, minute approval. Regular meeting, May 4th. Comments, changes, criticisms, motions?
All appeared accurate. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
PJ,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes. Okay. Scheduled reports, Chief Phillips.
Okay. Report of calls for April. Goes from January 1st to April 30th. EMS calls, we had 173. Last year at this time, we had 205. Fire calls, we had 155. Previous year was 149. Total calls was 328. Previous year was 354. Mutual aid given is 106. Previous year was 93. Mutual aid received is 10. Previous year was 62. Total transports was 124. Previous year was 138. Total non-transports was 54. Previous year was 95. Transfer to other agencies is 2. Previous year was 4. Total patients is 180. Previous year was 237. Our back-to-back calls are running about 23.17%. Previous year was 28.25%. That's it for referral calls. Last meeting we had some questions about AEDs in Kenston. I mentioned that they had information about that, which is community education, emergency action plan for automated external defibrillators. Like I said at the last meeting, Cintas is maintaining them, along with Kenston Board of Education.
Now, John, is that a yearly or is it monthly?
It's monthly.
Okay, so you go and test the pads and they are check the unit and they check the pads to make sure they're not expired?
Cintas is supposed to do that.
Okay, so
They record it and keep track of all the records.
it's not our liability then, it's Cintas's liability then?
That's correct.
Okay, so what about the fire extinguishers? I know Ohio Revised Code says they have to be checked monthly by, doesn't have to be certified personnel, but yearly by certified personnel. Monthly by somebody just goes in and makes sure the pins aren't full, the gauges are fully staffed, and the nozzle that blows out of it, it's not plugged with like bees nest or anything.
I'll jump on the bandwagon here with you. After you brought that up, I researched it. Couldn't find anything in the ORC specifically. There was some changes in there, but I do have NFPA and OSHA requirements, which are basically the same. So the quick visual check every 30 days to ensure the unit is ready for an emergency. It can be performed by an employee or designated staff member. Placement and access, it is designated in a visible location, it is unobstructed by furniture or equipment. Pressure gauge is a needle in the green operational zone. Tamper seal, is the pull pin intact and the seal unbroken? Physical condition, is the tank free of rust, dents, or chemical leaks? Now, here's the only main difference between OSHA and NFPA, is NFPA says to actually invert the tank for, make sure there's
Right.
no caking and chemical type extinguishers. And they also have a thing of documentation, record the month, year, and inspector's initial on the attached tags up there. So this responsibility falls on the owner of the building, that be the trustees. So I'd like to make a motion that we will implement the NFPA requirements for monthly visual inspection of the fire extinguishers. Keep that as a standalone motion.
I'll second that.
Excuse me, before you vote on that. It's OSHA 1910.157, parentheses E, parentheses 2. It says, fire extinguishers must be checked, visually inspected, monthly, receive detailed maintenance annually. Meaning, somebody comes through and signs a log, doesn't have to be qualified. Like I said, there's 3 factors you have to check for. The gauge on it to make sure that it's full. The pin's not pulled because if somebody walks by and the pin's pulled and presses the nozzle, it's gonna blow the whole building up. And make sure that there's not a bee's nest or a carpenter's nest up in the nozzle. And we did the 4th thing. We flipped them over and you hear the pancake fall out of them. So they're not compressed. So if they sit there for 2 years before they get flipped over, it'll settle down and it'll settle out to the bottom. So you want to make sure that you can hear it. Sometimes you have to take a rubber mallet and tap it. You can hear it fall towards the nozzle. And like I said, I come from 30 plus years of safety stuff, and that's one of the things we did monthly. I just
Okay,
want to make sure our guys are safe.
all right.
Want to repeat that motion? Did you get it?
Well, you could read it again, yeah.
Well, I think that pretty much covered everything you had. Recording it, chemical thing, briefly tipping goes down, ensure the powder is not caked. Tamper seal, pressure gauge. And ensure the nozzle is unobstructed. Let me read the OSHA checklist just to make sure we're. Ensure the extinguisher is in designated location. Check that the equipment is visible and accessible. Verify that the pressure gauge shows the proper pressure range. Inspect for any physical damage, corrosion, or leakage. Check that the pull pin and tamper seal are intact. Ensure the nozzle is unobstructed. Verify the operating instructions are legible and facing outward. And so the only other thing they'll put in then is for dry chemical types, briefly tip the unit upside down and ensure the powder is not caked. So that is a combination of both NFPA and OSHA.
So we're gonna do both? Like,
It's a combination of the two, yeah.
okay, what were the initials for the other one? N?
NFPA.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so basically all the OSHA requirements, which are the second paragraph there. And then also add the NFPA for the inverting the unit and checking that the powder hasn't caked
Okay,
and dried.
okay.
Okay, so like, these are like common ones out in like wood type structures. If you have electrical, you have to have a different type of fire extinguisher. If you're in a kitchen, you have to have a different type of extinguisher for kitchens. So these are common ones for like wood and whatever fires. I'm not sure what the other ones are. I think they're A, I think that's a B, and I think the other one's a C. I'm not positive. I'd have to check into that, but I can for next meeting. But Yeah.
I think they're all, that says ABC from here, so I think they're all the,
Well, those aren't for like gas or
Specifics.
oil fires and stuff, because they have specific for like oil fires,
yeah,
because those won't do it for an oil fire.
just general chemical, yeah.
Am I right, John?
That's correct.
So there's, do you know different type of extinguishers that need to be?
ABC is what we typically recommend unless there's a special circumstance.
Okay, so like grease fires, ABC is good for that?
No.
That's what I'm kind of asking, because I know that where it came from.
At the station, we have, both kitchens have two different extinguishers that are made for grease fires.
What about electrical?
The ABCs are okay for electrical.
Okay. I'm just trying to get everybody on board and make sure everybody's safe, that's all.
Well, we don't have a stove in here, so.
No, not in here, and that's fine for here, but I'm
Oh,
like
okay.
the kitchen at the fire station should have different fire extinguishers for certain situations.
Yes, we have a Class K extinguisher in addition to the hood
Okay.
extinguishing system.
Now, you guys weren't mandated to put in Ansel system?
No.
Let's get
We-
through,
we
let's get
have-
the fact we're gonna expect, and that's why I said do this standalone motion of, yes, we're gonna do this, and then we can get into specifics on the next motion.
Okay, you got a motion and a second, I seconded it.
PJ,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Michael?
Yes. Now, where I wanted to go with this, and Riley and I were discussing here, is, I've already talked to Christine. She has graciously consented to be our point man at the administration building. So that is taken care of. Town hall.
Well, Matt's in there cleaning every month. If you wanted to have him do it.
Okay. So Matt
You
Blowers
could ask.
will contact, well, talk to him, see if he want to do it. That'd be a good call. That, and he can do Adam Hall also, because he does the cleaning up there.
We could just throw like a 30-day recurring reminder on Outlook, because he doesn't have an email, and then as simple as a text or call every time it pops up, and then we'll just track it that way, I suppose. Is that fair? The Parker building, does anybody know if there's one inside the building? I don't have a key to that building.
We don't go inside it.
Parker Building does have one inside.
Okay. Roads. Roads.
Could we contact KCE, see if somebody, they could designate someone there who,
With the defibrillators?
well, they're done by
Centos.
Cintas, so,
You mentioned something about KC being involved with Centos.
Right.
though.
KC tracks it,
They track it.
documents it, Centos inspects them.
yeah.
KC to track it.
Okay, we'll contact KCE, because they're the ones that are in the building. What I'm trying to do is to have the people do it who are actually in these buildings. Okay,
Museum.
museum, PJ, that one's yours.
I don't know if there's one in there, I just
Well,
came
then
from
it should
that
be easy to
building.
inspect.
There's no power in there right now, I do know that.
Check.
Okay.
Probably should be.
Fire department.
Yeah,
Okay, chief,
We've been
we'll take care of the
shutting
fire
that down
department. You can have a, you can designate.
rather than pay
whoever
the
you want
$100
out
Yeah,
fee
there.
yeah.
for no
Huh?
use.
I'll get it handled.
Flower
Okay.
admin building, blazer. Road department building. Super.
Fencer maker, we'll have him, he can designate,
Okay. I'll set the reminders up with that and help you.
okay. So, you want to make that as a motion, just to have it on the record? I'll handle it. Okay, so, I'll make a motion that the inspections be handled, Adam Hall will be handled by Matt Blower, Town Hall by Matt Blower. Parker Building will be handled by KCE. The museum will be handled by PJ. Fire Department will be handled by Chief Phillips. The Administration Building by Christine Blazer. And the Road Department Building by Superintendent Fenstermaker.
I'll second.
PJ,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Michael?
Yes. Give this to,
I'll retype, oh, I'll
need-
fix it up. I was just kind of
Oh,
hacking
okay.
through. No, I don't need it if you want to.
Okay.
If you want to retype it, that's fine
Yeah.
too.
Okay,
Well, you want
Or do
to,
you want-
do what you're going to do with it and
I
make
just
sure
don't
she
want
gets
to
a
forget
copy.
okay.
some of the reminders
You're
while
not
we
you're
get
not
it
old and senile yet. You have to earn that right.
Excuse me, I don't mean to be rude, but why wouldn't a fire prevention officer take care of all that stuff? Or his department? We're paying them to do as a service, come check the fire extinguishers monthly, be on a routine, and just loop it around, because the other stuff has to be done too. That's
No particular reason. Like I said, we're doing it with the people that are already in the buildings.
Okay, that's fine.
And it's our responsibility, we're the ones making the designation. Okay. Anything else, Chief?
No, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I got just a little add-on to that, if I could.
Yes, sir.
Just a couple quick things I wanted to let everybody know. Our turnout gear washer that we use for clearing the turnout gear, the equipment, the suits the guys wear, it dates back to 1998. Started to fall apart, and it was actually undersized for what NFPA currently recommends. So we actually were able to buy a $10,000 unit from our former vendor. We waited until it came to like not the end of their year deal. We were able to get a little over $4,000 from the Bureau of Workers' Comp in the form of a grant. So we've got a gear washer, a $10,000 gear washer for about $4,000. So we've got that already in the building, hooked up, and it's in operation. Coattails of that, a couple of us went down to the Kenston Scholarship ceremony the other day. As you're probably aware, we do an annual scholarship from some of the funding that John Reithoffer left us, and so we presented a young man with the Fire Department Reithoffer Scholarship for this coming year. It's for somebody doing like public service. We stretched it a little bit. This kid's going into the Navy, so we figured that qualified. So that would be a part of that last Friday. So, anyway, just
Well, thank you for updating.
Thank you.
Good job getting, always do a good job getting us free money, Keith.
We're trying. So
Appreciate it.
anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, PJ.
A few things to report. I've been, Christine will attest to this, kind of Memorial Day centric. You know, when Nancy was let go, she had just made contacts with, I wasn't sure she had made contacts. It didn't feel appropriate to call her and double check with her. So I went over the entire list and you know, such as sheriff for traffic control, bagpipers, the list of names, the band director who's bringing the music stuff. So anyway, exhaustive list, 8 or 10 things there. And seems to be everything's in place. I did just stop at the museum today. There's no power. We used to do coffee. We never turned the power off. We've been turning it off like midsummer after Memorial Day to avoid the $100 a month fee for even if there's no usage, which we successfully did get away with that. We would do coffee up there, and I gotta tell you, I would throw 95% of that out.
Oh, I think if we have some bottled water
and
or
donuts
something
and
like
stuff.
that, that
Yeah, I
would
think
be,
we'll be fine. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. And then,
so if anybody wants to dunk your donuts, you'll have to bring your own coffee.
yep. Boom mowers, Fenstermaker, if he's, you know, this is not his month or his week to report. He'll be in 1st of June, but we're having quite a fiasco with the mowers over there. Seals out on the mower deck for the arm mower, the boom mower. And we've been using the flail, and we went out and found some of, would have been Seabridge or Optimum or whoever's equipment that they like to leave laying in ditches all over the place. As we're mowing, we hooked up a piece of cable, and anybody that's ever done that with your lawnmower, that's a disaster quickly. Knocked another bearing and seal out of that, so we're struggling to keep those going, but yeah, if anybody's ever hit a string or a piece of wire with their lawnmower, I think you'll understand what I was getting at there. And it's pricey. The bearing is $600, and that the seal on the deck is about $1,000. So these are unexpected, and they add up quickly. The other thing, Dan, is you sent us something back in April. We've got a levy expiring, 1 mil. Probably not too soon to get started on talking about that and maybe making the effort to renewal, replace, whatever it is we're looking at. I don't think we're allowed to replace anymore, but renew. Brings in about $275,000 at full collection, which is about a fifth of our improvement budget every year. We try to do somewhere between 1.2, 1.4 for improvements and resurfacings. And it's a vital part of the budget. We have a 1 2 mil levy, and the remainder of them are 1 mil, and then there's also a 2/3 of a mil. So we go before the voters pretty frequently, which I always thought was kind of a good idea to get input as to approval to our program here. And one of them's up this year, and I'm going to say we start the paperwork to renew that 1 mil.
Okay,
A motion?
sure. I'll
make
second.
I'll make that motion.
PJ,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Yeah, there, I got some other stuff to look on later on the agenda. So that's it.
Okay, Mr. Davis.
So, something we need to decide on for policy. There's a resident currently for ash interments at the cemeteries. I believe you can do up to 5, and it's $250 or $350 after 2:30 in the weekends. There's a resident that very shortly wants to do 2 interments at the same time, and they're questioning if we're doing one location, should they pay twice or should they pay once? So I'm kind of on the fence about it. I know we were talking before the meeting. It can go either way. Even though the same work's being done once, we could choose to charge twice, or we could be generous, so to speak, since the work's being done once, and just charge once. So I'd like some input, really, because
Well, I'll throw in my 2 cents. Okay, the reason we have the fees to begin with is to cover our people's time and what we have invested in it. So in this case, if there's no additional time on the part of the road guys or any additional materials, then I would see no problem that if you're doing 2
3.
or 3, or,
Okay.
as I said, it's just to cover our time. Now, I'm sure if you're doing that, there's going to be some incremental amount of time by handling the other one. So we may be able to say for multiple internments, maybe an additional $100 or something like that. We'd have to look at, what our actual costs would be. And then again, that's all we're doing is trying to recoup our costs. This isn't a profit center.
No, and there's another party that's considering or was asking about the same thing at a later date. So even though this is somewhat rare, there's 2 parties that kind of want an answer upcoming. So I'd like to, if we could make a policy, and then Mr. Sturm can report back to them sooner, we'll have this done. So your idea, if it is multiple, instead of 250 or 350, an additional flat 100, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm just going to make a suggestion that you record that as a separate transaction, just to keep a paper trail. So when we're in the program, we'll know that there's 2 or 3 urns in that
Right.
site.
That'll be tracked.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm not sure about the $100. That sounds kind of high, but
It's $250 for one currently.
$250 for one.
So it'd be discounted over half.
If I could say something, that's a normal charge for
100.
township cemeteries.
Is it?
Because you can have an ash interment, like let's say somebody wants to do 2 at once. They could be 2 this way, they could be 2
Mhm.
bigger ones this way. they could want one here, they could want one here. So it is, actually more work. And it's as PJ said, there's,
Yeah.
they have to be noted and indicated, and they also should be drawn somewhere, because should somebody change their mind down the road, you have to know in that plot exactly where they are. If for some reason somebody wants to take something out, you have to know where. So
I'm wondering if in this new cemetery program with the county, if you have that ability, because that never came up, Lorraine. That's a
Yeah.
good point. I mean,
Yeah, excellent.
it's obviously
Thank
something
you.
you're gonna go out with the probe anyway.
Right,
But it
right.
would be nice if you had some idea where
Right,
to look.
right,
Yeah.
they really should be marked, because 90 times out of 100, 95 times, they'll never move. But if they do, it's good to know, on a piece of paper, or maybe it is in the cemetery
It might be.
program,
It might be.
that you actually can
Okay.
show. Yeah,
I'm sure Riley can look into that when he's
There's
talking
gonna
to
be
him.
notes and quadrants, but if the quadrants don't work right because it's 5, it's not going to be a cross, then the note section we can edit, and you can get as fancy as putting coordinates in if you wanted, then it just lock
Right,
that in.
right.
So
Right.
that part of it would be fine. My main concern to get through this is the fee schedule.
Okay, so
And
do you think the
updating it.
fee schedule is, the additional $100 is, as she said there, there could be some work involved. I don't think it's an unreasonable figure, it just saved them some money. Again, arbitrary value, just,
Yeah, I guess based on what Lorraine just said, yeah, I mean, however they wanna handle it,
Mainly an admin.
$100
paperwork
would,
fee.
I would think, cover it for
Right.
sure.
yeah.
But I would do it as a separate transaction, just so that's another avenue to keep track of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
you want to put that into a motion?
I will. Yes, sir.
I guess my question is, if we save up 5 urns, charge them $100 extra, should you put like a cap on, like $50 an urn, or there's a cap on the $100 range? Because if you're putting 5 different ones in, it's a lot more cost to the guys.
Well, it'd be $100 per urn. This is just,
That's not what Riley was saying. He said 2 or 3. I said $100.
We can word it as such, we can,
That's what I'm questioning.
That's a good
yeah,
point.
we're
Make a
gonna-
motion on it.
that's, well,
Per-
I think we were going is there was going to be $100 per additional.
That's not the way.
So if there's 5 of them-
That's
no,
what
you're right, I
I'm
was kicking around because it's up.
Exactly.
I mean, in this instance, it's 2 and 2 for both
Right.
parties, but yeah, somebody could hypothetically, it'd be probably very rare, but come along and plan for more.
Right.
But to be safe, we'll motion it as such. So, yeah, I'll motion for a singular ash interment. It will remain at $250, $350 after 2:30 p.m. in the weekends, which is currently stated. In addition to, we will add a $100 per additional interment fee.
At the same time.
At the same time. That would be important to note.
Is it the same hole?
Well, we don't know, that's what
Yeah.
Brian pointed out. It could be yes, could be no.
It would be the same plot, but as for the whole, I personally, I think that's getting too detailed at the machine, and once it's set up in that, the time it takes to pull that dirt or probe is really fast, so I don't want to overcomplicate it more than it already is.
I'd say $100 covers it, because they'll be there already.
Yes. So that will be the motion.
Second?
PJ,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, secondly, ADP would like an agreement from us for a migration plan regarding Ms. Dolezal's email and access. The plan would be convert and replace the existing admin distribution box with a shared mailbox, restore and preserve the mailbox contents within the shared mailbox, grant shared mailbox access to the staff designated by you or us, which we can go over that separately, migrate all files to the C drive and OneDrive. To make this easier for them, they're going to do SharePoint. What that is, it's basically a central location that designees can go to and pull files that they need, like a letterhead and things like that. It's going to be easier for them to grab that stuff and just put it there, and then multiple people can grab it as they need it.
We have the same thing with shared files.
And then
Makes
grant,
sense.
grant the SharePoint access to the individuals designated. ADP would like formal action for them to perform this work. The goal would be for them to start it tomorrow. That's what we've been waiting on for tonight to look into this. So,
Got a motion?
yeah, so motion to do the 5 tasks that ADP recommends, and I will let them know tomorrow to begin that.
Okay, I'll second.
PJ,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Michael.
Yeah. Make sure she gets a copy of it, so make your life easier.
Yeah, I can do this. Okay. Lastly, the most exciting thing, which this will also be on the agenda later, but we'll cross it out now.
I can get it out, yeah.
Yeah, so Town Hall. Demo has began, and a major thing that came up is underneath the door frame, the main headers or joists, it had years and years of water which attracted ants. So there's carpenter ant damage, and it's pretty severe to the point like a shovel can go right through that 10-inch board or beam. At some point with the new door and all the work that's happening, that front porch will probably start collapsing. So a unforeseen additional cost, and I'll just read it verbatim. After removal of the existing masonry front entrance to the building, we've discovered 3 things. The 8x10 beams under the front door and the 24-inch wing walls are rotted and have insect damage. The sandstone under the beams is loose and has little value in supporting the front of the building. There is no footer under the sandstone. Although the current construction has lasted 100 years or more, these supports need to be upgraded to current construction methods, especially while adding the new front entry. It would be difficult to make the changes below after the landing is completed. Demolition of the front foundation and wood beams, $465. Form, add rebar, pour concrete footer for a block wall under the entry, $1,620. Lay block under the front door and wing walls for the front door, $930. Replace the wood supports under the front door and wing walls with treated lumber, $560. So this new cost is $3,575. I went over and looked at it. I have a video too. I didn't have time to get it up there for the crowd, I'm sorry. But it's pretty extensive. There isn't a lot of options to proceed with the grand plan, the project, without taking care of this damage first that was buried beneath 100 years of history as they demoed it. So I would like to make a motion for the cost of $3,575 to follow this estimate so they can continue with the work to actually build the ADA ramp and complete that side of the project.
I'm going to second that because it's broken, it's got to be fixed.
PJ,
Got a question here.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you going to have an exterminator come to make sure the carpenter ants are out of there?
It's all going to get removed. So we can't look at it now, but it's isolated to that support portion. So at some point the structure changes as you go down the block, the supporting walls. The rest of that is solid, but in that nook where the door is, because the door is set back, really on all 3 sides of that, for whatever reason, we think it's water damage that invited the ants. Because you can see that the way the porch was off the stone, the water just sat there against the wood. It was never flashed. I mean, I don't know when the door was put in, but they didn't go beneath it to flash it from water. So I think it's isolated. I would expect as they demo more, if it keeps expanding worse, I'll be informed right away like I was with this. So as soon as I got a video, I was already here, I walked over there and looked at it personally. But it does appear to be isolated.
She brings up a good point. If there's a colony under there right now at the risk of, enraging some PETA members that might want us to relocate the ants to a more happy place, it might be a good idea to follow that up with a treatment, yeah, so.
That'll be separate. If that's the case, I can add that.
If you're killing stuff, you're on your own.
We got a
I learned my
regular,
lesson from the last meeting.
guy that takes care of bees this time of year all the time, so.
Spend another 200
You're
to
right.
zap them.
Yeah.
You're right.
What's the name of?
Dave Ballantyne, it's in the index there, so we just signed a check for him not too long ago.
Riley, how are we
That
gonna
treated
face-
lumber though, was
How are we
that,
gonna face that block off?
I'm sorry?
How are we gonna face the block off? Is it gonna look uniform around the building or no?
You won't see it in that section. So they're repairing the blocks that got hit, which are on the east side. But in this is just gonna get new cinder block and a proper footer to come up. So hypothetically, it supports,
So it'll be the same sandstone going up?
no, they're demoing all that. So right now, it's like a 4 or 5 foot hole. But to hit proper codes for frost depth, they can't use that loose sandstone anyways. So the sandstone currently is loose, and that's what supports the rotted wood with the damage. So the wood and the sandstone are gonna get removed. It'll get blocked and footed up brand new to womanized board. Which I don't wanna speak out of turn, but I believe the carpenter ants don't attack that treated anyways. But I already put a note to do an exterminator checkup regardless.
Yeah, we got a guy.
So, yes, sir.
So I have a question. If this is from the accident the car hit in the building, correct?
Yes.
So that caused all this to be brought forward. Wouldn't their insurance cover that extra cost of the, I know it's pre-existing condition, but maybe it would have lasted who knows how long had the car not hit it. So would their insurance, is their insurance paying for the repairs now?
So the timeline was last July, early August. Quotes were received, and there was discussion about doing the ADA matching upgrades at the same time. It's in the minutes. The problem was we accepted and closed the transaction with the insurance company before really digging into the ADA side of it, which, so the cost went, so the taxpayers are on the hook. If this were to happen again, it would be handled differently. We would look at what the true cost is going to be. And to my next point, the door has to go along with the ADA side of things, so that could have or should have been rolled into these costs as well. That pre-existing condition part of it, unless it was demoed, then if it was demoed, I suppose it could have been rolled into the overall quote and covered as well.
I was just curious.
But it's roughly 8,000 plus 6,000. If we could do it differently, we might have picked up another 14,000 to cover the door and the proper ADA upgrades. But talking to the contractor, they do additionals in that, but with this time frame and the way this was done, he doesn't think that's really feasible at this point to try to go back and adjust it almost a year later.
Okay.
Does that kind of answer your question?
Yes.
That's the best timeline I can give you. So I want to do two separate things with this. So we
have a
did not
motion.
vote.
Yeah, I
We have a
think you had a
motion.
motion in a second there, too.
PJ,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Okay, so secondly, along the same lines, we had talked briefly about upgrading the door as well, because the door currently does not work with the ADA because there's a center bar. it's too narrow, 28, 30-inch doorway to get through with a wheelchair or anything conveniently. So I proposed it before, it's probably been a month and a half or so, 2 months. And the crowd we caught to do a left-hand outswing door. The door will swing to the east, so it's more convenient for somebody coming up the ramp from the west. And we also spoke about panic hardware, having a push bar. So there were a couple minor changes. The old quote was around $5,400. To add the left-hand outswing with panic hardware, it jumps it up $650, a grand total of $6,021.50. The contractor would really prefer to wrap this work up at the same time because they're going to be lifting the building slightly, reblocking it, matching the door frame back up, and working their way out of the nook and down the ramp. So all this goes together. It doesn't have to, but it would just make it a lot more seamless for his job if he could work on the door and get it on order. It's about 3 weeks while he's doing this other work and building the ramp. So as a separate motion, I would like to motion at the cost of $6,021.50 that we proceed with the new upgraded door also for Town Hall.
Well, one of those things, not a lot of choice in the matter.
No, the building needs to be put back in place.
So, a second.
PJ,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Okay. That's all for me, thank you.
Okay, Dan.
Okay, since our last meeting held on May 4th, I processed 9 electronic payments for $34,717.65 and 18 warrants for $11,999.58, totaling $46,717.23. One additional thing. Christine, on her first day on the job, she noticed that the Auburn Community Park Pavilion registration form that was in the on the website was a little different than the one that she had copies of on a clipboard, and also the registration form had two different refundable damage deposit fees. Up in the header it said $150, and in the body it said $175. So the rental is for $25 per day for the Auburn Community Park Pavilion. For residents, $75 a day for non-residents. And we have two different deposits, one $150, one's $175. So I thought, well, it's got to be in the organizational meeting minutes because that's where we set the rental prices. It is for Adam Hall and Town Hall, but it's not in there for the pavilion for some reason. So I'd like somebody to maybe make a motion. If you agree that $175 is the correct refundable damage deposit, that we keep the rates at $25 and $75 with the $175 refundable damage deposit. And then-
Yeah, 150, 175, they're arbitrary numbers, so I'll make a motion to go with the 175.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we set this at some point. Of course, the grand opening of that wouldn't have been, when we opened that, it wouldn't have been in January. So at some point, we did set a fee for this, and it probably just was overlooked to add it to the other buildings. I'm trying to think of what.
You mean to the organizational meeting?
It should have been added to the organizational
Yeah.
minutes, yes. But I'm sure we started renting it, well, Everly was still on the board when we finished that, so that goes back a ways.
Mental note, Christine.
Yeah.
Keep my mouth shut.
But yeah, I'm sure this is something that was discussed and done via
Yeah.
board action before. We just should have added it to the organizational and renewed it every year. So, yeah, I'm for it. I don't know. You got a motion?
Yeah.
I'll second.
PJ,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
That's all I got.
Okay. And OPEC Energizing Grant, again, that's just a reminder. All right, now, fun times. Gave you guys copies of the proposal for the modified judgment entry on the patio. Any comments?
Music
Well,
and hours addressed changed at all, or they're
no,
gonna stay
no.
exactly the same?
The only thing that's
Okay.
changing would be, see, everything would stay the same. What they would do, as opposed to putting the fence directly around the patio, and again, so that's the only thing we're changing. Says, my client will agree to construct a 6-foot-high board-on-board fence with a length of approximately 125 feet along the western portion of the property in the area depicted in the enclosed, which I didn't see an attachment. Well, that'll be later down the road. And if desired by the property owner to the north of the property, my client will agree to construct a 6-foot-high board-on-board fence with a length of approximately 172 feet along the northern border of the property. And then finally, my client will agree to designate the paved parking area adjacent to the building on the east side for the building for deliveries only by placing signage in the area indicating such. And so, this is one thing we've been wanting to do, is to get the cars out of the right-of-way.
Yes, and that will be part of the judgment entry, which makes, anybody hasn't been here before when we discussed this, we did a survey right after this we did a road survey right after this came to light, what's going on up there. And the township's right-of-way goes right up to that building. Maybe we own a piece of the cinder block up there. We knew that building sat very, very close. We didn't realize exactly how close. So we'd like to eliminate that parking. That parking's on township right-of-way. And this addresses that. The other thing, Mike, is we gotta make it clear, this is extra zoning. This is a judgment entry because a 6-foot-high board-on-board fence is not allowed anywhere in any district per our zoning resolution, but this is extra zoning.
Right.
So, I mean, we require, I think they're supposed to be shorter with some opaqueness, but this won't be, and it will be taller. And I think that works to the residents' benefits, in my opinion, anyway.
Is this gonna be on the property line, or is it, how is that, I don't remember where it's gonna be put.
It's in
It should be close to the property line. But so we'll have, again, this.
I saw measuring going on, so I figured something was gonna be happening over Memorial Day.
Well, they can't do anything until we get through this. I've already,
Well, they did last year without anybody complaining.
And that's why we're here.
And that's why we're here.
But so, again, so they got to do what they wanted to do without approval, and it stayed the same all year long. So now, regardless of whatever is happening now, it almost seems like it's gonna happen again, and if it does, who do we call? Who gets notified? Zoning?
He just read what the proposed settlement from them
Right,
is.
Who enforces it?
Hmm?
Who enforces it?
That would be the Jogga County Court, because this would be a judgment entry.
So they technically, they cannot go ahead with this then? Is that, it's not gone to that point yet?
No, it hasn't gone that way.
no, we're just in the, well, funny you should ask. All right?
Okay.
Now, this is my 21st year here, and I've done a lot of judgment entries while I've been here. No, I haven't. Nobody has. So, I did do a request through Jane Zoning to kind of get us what the procedure is, so we have an idea of where we're going. So I'm just going to read what we got from the prosecutor's office, just so you guys are all on board here. So the question is there a proposal to amend the AJE from the patio? He said, if so, starting point would be for Mr. Flynn, that's patio's attorney, to reach out to me directly. Or is this amendment being initiated by the trustees? Well, it is being initiated by the patio. Process-wise, there needs to be an agreement between the parties to amend the agreed-upon. Amendment terms need to be finalized and documented. There's a public notice period, and then ultimately a sign-off by the judge is needed. She said I would have to meet with the trustees in the executive session as well. I am not available on May 4th. I'm attending a meeting for a different township on May 18th. If the trustees would like to ask me to come to a meeting to discuss an executive session, they can take action to request that I attend and then coordinate my schedule with the board. So I think the first thing we want to do is, and which is why we're here, okay, do we want to proceed with this? The process?
To me, the way I'm seeing it, it's an improvement to what is there right now.
I agree.
So,
And I think what they're proposing, I know people don't always agree, but it's going to be better for everybody. Okay? We're putting up a big 6-foot fence, the entire length of it. So I think that's better for everybody who's involved. It's a little safer now, we're getting things off the street, so I concur with PJ. I think this is an improvement. Riley?
just back to what her question was earlier, Susan. Usually when they put these fences up, they're gonna set them back from the property line slightly so they can maintain them. So.
Ultimately, it would be
right
a
on
public
the-
hearing, so, and we'd have to have drawings to see exactly what is going on, before we make any, but what I wanted to do is say, hey, are we amenable to this, so that I can contact, or zoning contact Mr. Flynn, so he can contact and get the ball rolling on their end. So, it's kind of, because he's been asked me a number of times, should I contact? No, don't contact anybody until we, So I just want to get to the point where if we're in agreement to let him move forward with the arduous process of the judgment entry modification.
But, all right, so with the fence going, if they do go ahead with that fence, if this is how this is gonna roll then, is that then opening up a whole backyard area to expand their business then, other than what they have currently with, when they first had the judgment about, going with the patio for the smokers in the back?
No,
And-
no.
No, they
Okay.
can't do anything other than put the fence up.
These judgment entries are pretty specific to the issues at hand. That's why hours are regulated, the size of, this is outside of zoning. Anything they want to do, they would have to come to either the board or go back to court to expand or whatever
Well, I'm just wondering, because there's a lot of kids that are out there now, because it's the bar and grill, and there's a lot of children lately. So will they be putting up like a playground for them, or, where it's gonna get even more?
They could not put up a playground unless they got the court and this board to agree. Understand that garage with the garage door, the building is in question, I guess. It's not really in question, but it happened because of the state, the voters
Well,
eliminating
No, but I think
indoor
what we do
smoking.
is wait till it comes up to.
And so
do the-
every bar, you drive past
as
any
we is
bar,
with
you're
the
gonna see an
restaurant,
outside
we'll have a
smoking
public
area.
hearing at that
They had to
point.
do
That's what
something.
we'll bring into
Right, well,
question.
if they were concerned about the smoke affecting any patrons, I surely would have put up a garage door that rolls up and let it all roll back in.
Well, so that expansion happened because of that state law, that amendment to the Constitution that banned indoor smoke, interior smoke.
So it just comes right back into them, basically. I'm just saying, if you wanna keep the smokers separate.
Well, I said my piece, and to me, it looks like an improvement, and I'm, let Riley kick his 2 cents in here.
So, next year, I like your question, though. Is this the time to draw lines or not draw lines regarding, you're right, if kids want to play in that area like they already do, they want to put a couple picnic tables over there, 2 picnic tables constitute additional dining. How does that compare with, the the historical district and how those bars expand and contract as they see fit without any regard to zoning. Are they, if they're in,
zoned. They're zoned.
my point is, if they throw a picnic table out there or 10, I highly doubt, I'm just speculating, that they're coming and getting permission. So if they don't and they do and vice versa, is this going to become an issue? I like your question. I don't know how much we enforce or how much we look into these things. I don't. But even starting with just children playing, do they have the right to enjoy their property? Because a second ago you were saying nothing can happen in that area.
Well, constructing a playground couldn't happen. An outdoor picnic table area inside of the fence, I find it hard to believe that's something that we're gonna crack down on.
I think that's
So
kind of
you're inviting
below.
them more to expand basically their area then, because you're going to bring food out there. You're going to be doing other things out there then.
If they put it in, there'd be no type of structure.
That's my, I don't know, that's my question, just general land use. I don't know where lines are drawn or if there's any lines at all. That's why I'm looking for the specifics so this doesn't come up as you see a change happen, a table, kids, whatever, and we're not right back to this point and we already skipped on the opportunity, so to speak,
Right?
to put it in writing. I don't know.
And I know you brought up the point about, well, if they do it down there, but why can't they do it there, or vice versa? Well, isn't it because they're zoned residential here and they're there?
Yes,
That's why.
So.
that's why they can do things down there that they can't do here. This is residential.
Going off that point, in a residential zoned area, can somebody put picnic tables and play in an area? I agree, I still have the same question I'm asking. Is
Right,
it
so when
restricted
does
if it's zoned resident, right, I don't know. Zoned residential, I'm not sure there's restrictions. If that's what you're calling it, that they're zoned residential,
Yeah, that's a,
it gets real confusing real quick. That's why I'm trying to expand on this while the time is ripe for it.
Right.
Well, at the point that there's a judgment dictating the operation of the patio, does zoning become secondary to whatever the judgment is indicating, or does zoning still have some?
well, zoning, zoning still has,
They still have prioritization over certain,
right. Again, what we're doing that overrides zoning is the specifics of the judgment entry. For example, we're saying put in a 6-foot fence as part of the judgment entry. That overrides the zoning, but there's still any zoning related issues would still be apply in that area.
Just a point on zoning resolution, the general provision allows for a 6-foot fence inside and rear yards. I think that's what you're talking about. So it does allow 6 foot. It's 4 foot in the front of a building.
With some opaqueness as well, yeah.
See, we're not even in violation.
But there are two major things probably before proceeding. So the north fence is it's posed more as a question here.
Right, it's
So
posed as a question.
someone has to suggest or make a decision if they have to do a north fence or not, is the way I read it.
Right.
So discussion on that.
I think it's gonna be wanted, I do. And when we talk about zoning and how it applies there, the reason we're here on this and why there's that business is there, and the one across, the building across the street too. Those are pre-existing lots of record. They were businesses before there was any zoning in the township. So you cannot zone someone out of business. Just can't do it.
I would say when we come back and we talk to them, I'd say that that we go with the fence on the north side,
And west.
on the west side.
Yeah.
And the north side, we'll make that part of it unless there's an objection by the people to the north and they don't want it there. So the same thing, we'll just be working it backwards, saying, yes, put it up unless somebody says they specifically don't want it.
Okay, and then the last thing I noticed in there, they offer to do a lot of the groundwork for the presentation of the modification. With the complexity of this, and we've never done one before, and I know Ms. Ryan is happy to help, does it hurt the way it reads to allow them to present their modification? Because I believe they say we can have an informal agreement, or we can,
Well, right now, we're not gonna have an agreement at all. We're just gonna agree to say, okay, take what you've got here, now run it up to the prosecutor.
Yeah.
So he's gonna take, this is gonna be his
Can I
first
read
cut
it?
at it.
Can I read this for a
Sure.
second? The way I read it, now I gotta read real fast. If the township believes the AG needs to be formally modified, which I think we're,
It does.
instead of an informal agreement, please let me know, and I can incorporate the proposed modifications as an amendment. So the way I'm reading it, they'll do some of the work, or the work to get it built, or we have to. So we should probably agree to allow them to build it, or we're going to do it. It's two different things here, is the way it reads. So we just have to pick.
Well,
I don't think it matters, but again,
yeah.
So what I'm sensing from the three of us here is this sounds like a pretty good a pretty good starting point for negotiations, anyway.
Right.
So, Riley, would you agree with that? That's a good start, this is a good starting point? Because I'm in favor of moving this along, this could languish for years.
Well, like I said, this is still, he's gonna start talking with Christine. We're gonna have to set up a executive session with Christine to go over it, so there's still a lot of steps to this.
Kristen.
Kristen? Christine, that's why I'm thinking Christine, I'm staring at, she's right in front of me. What are you looking at, Kristen?
so as it's presented, we're going to specify that we like, because it's questioned in here, the north fence, that was a question, and then who's going to draft and do the work. And it can be just not us, it's just
It's
them.
gonna be
A combination.
a combination
Okay,
of
great.
whatever. yeah.
I just,
No,
the
we're
way
not
it
gonna
reads,
do
it
it.
just needs specified though.
No, no.
Because they're asking a couple things in
Yeah.
this.
Well, that's what,
As long as we know.
and again, he's been wanting to contact Kristen, but as I told him, wait till we talk about this first before anybody goes and does anything. So like I said, this is just the first step to say, okay, go ahead and talk to Kristen about this. We're amenable to looking at what you've got to offer, and again, this isn't written in stone or everything else, but basically what we've got is a starting point. So we may, and again, we're going to have public hearings and everything else, so there may be some tweaks in there, but so there's a lot more steps to it than meets the eye. And we just have to, like I said, we have to start it somewhere.
So, I know I'm a little slow on things, but I just don't understand how it even got this far. Because we had the judgments. Everything was as it was supposed to be, correct? They had their fencing up.
Yeah, they had it up, and then somebody did something stupid and put the fence down.
So wouldn't
and-
it just be easier to go back? to
Just
the
tell them, put the fence back up.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
because now.
it'd be cheaper for them, sure.
You know, but what it really.
What we're trying to do now
implies
is,
that, well,
since
okay,
they're willing
so
to
you
do this
did
and
it.
spend the money, how about if we make it a better situation
Is it better
than it is?
now?
Yes, I believe it is.
I kinda
I believe the
think it is.
trustees
I don't
feel it
know,
is
I've been all
too.
that around. I don't.
And
Did
I'm
you
sure,
happen to print off the drawing?
Hmm?
Did you print off the drawing? Because I never did have a chance to go get it.
No, I didn't get the drawings. Again, we're trying to get through the preliminary phases here. And
I don't know, I just, there was a judgment entry, we're not very firm on it. If we're just letting people, okay, you did it, so give us another idea of what to do. I don't know, I've got to work this through. I just don't feel very protected by
Yeah,
our
and-
township, that's what it is.
the other thing, and I don't know, it's relevant in the fact that everybody's a human being here. The parties we agreed to for that judgment entry years ago, they're all gone. These are new people. New people are not aware of things that were negotiated by their elders or by their predecessors sometimes unless they do the research. And research wasn't done, pretty obviously, when they took down the fence they did. But Does that happen? Yes, it does, and I think this addresses it pretty well, and I think it's a good place to start, to correct what they did in error.
Just a minor point, I think, that I commented earlier, the 6 foot's allowed in a side yard, but that's, if I'm doing this from memory, but that I think it's only allowed up to the front of the building at 6 foot alignment of the front of the building. I don't know if that, no map, you can't say what you
Well,
got.
they've already got a fence that goes from the front of the building,
West.
going from east to west. So this new fence would probably terminate at that fence.
Yeah, just.
So they can't go beyond that.
Just to clarify my point earlier, based on my memory.
Goes too much farther, it's gonna be in the middle of Washington Street, so.
And then the fence in question at the north end of the property, well, that's gonna end there because that's their parking lot access. You know. So what are we looking for? A motion here, Mike? What do you want to do?
Yeah, give me a motion, somebody give me a motion.
Well, you give me the motion.
Huh?
I think we're all kind of somewhat in agreement here, so you make the motion.
You know, I knew you were gonna say that. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to contact the patio's attorney to let him know that we are amenable to the agreement, at least in the short term, enough to have him contact the prosecutor to go ahead and start process of the modified judgment entry or for the additions on his letter of April 24th.
I will second that.
PJ,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes. Okay, and I will, I've been using Jane as the focal point for contacting the attorney, so I'll let her know what her decision was. And she can contact him tomorrow. Okay, that's it for old business. Other new business. KCE Board opening, Auburn Representative, Bragansky and Cheney. I'm going to recuse myself from the voting of this since Mr. Cheney is one of my neighbors, and nothing good can come from that. So, you guys can start your
Yeah, we've
deliberations and
Mr. Cheney and Mr. Bragansky, I think they're both somewhat known to the board here. You guys have been coming to meetings off and on, and Dennis has been in various positions with the township and the county. I don't know if you want to, first name? I'm sorry.
Christopher.
Christopher. Experience on governmental boards, anything like previous?
Yeah, I was on the Tanglewood Green Condominium Homeowners Association board as a secretary for a couple of years while my wife and I lived there. I'm on Tickers Creek Watershed Partners board now, serve on a couple of committees for that board. Give freely of my time, table at events, go to fundraisers, so it's not just sitting at the desk. That's really just why I'm here, just to offer my time freely to the community. I have 3 children in Kenston schools. I expect to have them playing sports through 2037. So just want to offer my time to ensure that the athletic program does what it's designed to do. Offer a fun character building experience for our athletes. Coordinate seasons and get new scoreboards and allocate scholarships, things like that. It's not too complicated.
You know any of the management over there, the directors or anything?
No, I don't have any.
No. Well, I appreciate your application. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Okay, Mr. Bragansky, introduce yourself to the rest of these people. Some of us know you pretty well, so.
I'm Dennis Berdiansky. I've lived down here since 1999. Very active with KCE through coaching and involved. Jen that runs it has kind of conned me into coaching about every sport that they couldn't find a coach for, so I had to learn how to do all that. I've been very active in the community, public service. I'm a police officer I'm retired from, currently a realtor. I've been on the Geauga County Planning Commission for 16 years maybe, 12, 16, can't even remember. It's been a long time. I was on the school board for 4 years. I'm currently on Auburn zoning. All my kids went through KCE. I'm a big backer of the KCE program. Want to make sure it all stays, in a positive way, because it's different being out in the municipality when you have that money to put into a rec program. And it's not just the sports either. There's a lot of adult programs that are involved with KCE that need to be kept going. The sports, my kids went through it, and I couldn't imagine, there's so much time and commitment that goes into KCE, and I just want to make sure it stays on a positive direction. So, when I saw the opening, I thought I'd, throw some more of my time out there, because I feel like I just like to volunteer to do stuff for the community, so that's where I stand, and, plan on living here for a little while longer, at least, until I die probably. So, hopefully that's a little, and, just want to help KC go in the right direction.
Well, thank you, appreciate that too. I just have one more thing to add here before we move into whatever Riley wants to talk about here too. Big shoes to fill. Bob Ford's was on KCE board for, oh gosh, it had to be close to 20 years, if not more. Pretty much single-handedly kept the baseball program going with a lot of volunteer work to bring some fields that were basically cow pastures back to baseball status. And you'd see Bob out there on weekends just with his own tools, his own equipment, his own tractor, just trying to bring these dirt infields back to life. And he just was a long time just a stalwart there for that entire program. And I think we did send a letter of thanks to him a month or a couple months back. And yeah, no doubt, big shoes to fill. That's all I got to say about that.
Any questions for the applicants?
I had no say whatsoever at the organizational meeting at the first appointment, so I really don't have anything to say at this one other than if I did have any input, I was supporting Mr. Berdansky at that time. So I didn't really expect Mr. Troyne to recuse himself. So my opinion still stands from January. That's all the comments I have.
Okay. Is that a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll make a motion to appoint Dennis Bergansky to the unexpired term.
I'll second.
PJ?
Yes.
Riley?
Yes.
Michael?
Abstain. Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Cheney, I hope you stay involved. And you've been coming to meetings, so you're a known friend and trusted agent, so, yep.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay, now,
Can I add, I forgot to mention something. Mr. Davis and I went to the Mercantile ribbon cutting ceremony last week. Just wanted to say it was very well attended. The board had gotten an invite, and I know Keith was there representing the fire department. And they had a proclamation from David Joyce's office. It's a nice establishment.
yeah,
They're
they're
packing them
really
in.
nice.
They are packing them in
Yeah.
down there. Yep.
That's all.
I was surprised when I first saw it, that it's like, you hear there's gonna be a coffee shop, I was like, whoa, that's quite an impressive building, facility, and wish them luck.
Mike, before you get to the save the date and stuff at the end,
Well, we got one more thing on the business.
we do, don't we? Yes, we do.
Also, before that, I should have mentioned this in my report, I apologize. So for the YouTube live streaming, if anyone wants to write down our specific username, if you go to youtube.com, there's a search bar. All you have to do is type in the @ symbol and then Auburn TWP. We liked Auburn Township written out in full, but that was already taken. So it's Auburn TWP, and you'll see our logo, it'll say Auburn Township, and I added Ohio to it because the other channel does not have Ohio, just to be more specific. And this will be our first meeting that is live streamed. Any feedback's appreciated. Comments are turned off. We're just trying to learn the system and make sure this goes through well, and we're seen and we're heard, and make the adjustments accordingly. So I'll check it after the meeting, but we've had some tests and they were successful. So when we close this out, we'll shut off the live stream, and you'll see the whole hour and 20 minutes or so, whatever the meeting ends up being. So that's quite the improvement. So if you notice, the Joneses, their camera is not there, so they've entrusted us to take the reins on that. It's a lot of pressure. So I hope all this is being recorded and it's accurate and it works. We'll find out in a little bit. So thank you for that.
Is that Auburn
TWP.
TWP, and that's it?
And that's it. And so that's the channel name, like our username. When you click that, it's at this point it should just show tonight's video. It's still streaming live as we speak. So if you enter it, maybe please don't, because I'm not sure if it's going to loop the mic or something weird. That's the only thing I'm afraid of, because it'll start picking up the sound. There's a big delay. But otherwise, you should be able to find it there.
Yeah, it's there. It looks
Awesome.
like it's time delayed.
Yes, yeah, 8 to 30 seconds we kind of figured out. So it's as live as it gets. But as we switch the internet over, that might go away when we get off
The
DSL.
10 seconds is for the sensors.
Yeah.
Okay, last not least, new business, action from the May 4th executive session. We didn't take any action at that point in time because we said we wouldn't do any additional business, and we did not. Okay, that being said, on the recommendation of the prosecutor's office, recommendation at this time that the board do no more than initially than suspend Ms. Dolezal with pay to ensure her due process rights are protected. Okay, and that's going to be part of the motion. An addition here is, we should not do two separate motions. We don't do two separate motions. Let's do that. Let's start that. Just recommendation to suspend Ms. Dolezal with pay to ensure her due process rights are protected.
Second.
PJ?
Yes.
Riley?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes. Okay, I got a second motion here. It's more of a clerical. I'd like to authorize Fiscal Officer Dan Matsko to allocate remaining vacation and sick time to the balance of scheduled workdays remaining until a retirement date of June 1st, 2026, retroactive to May 4th, 2026.
I'll second.
PJ?
Yes.
Riley?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes. Okay. You said you had something else, PJ? Or?
I did. I just probably should have had that in my report as well. But Auburn alumni, the annual lunch was held yesterday up here at Adam Hall. We've been doing that. We've been hosting that here since the community church closed the doors over there. And I'm going to say 60, 70 people, maybe 75, something like that. Patty Phillips has kept that ball rolling, and it's a nice event. I think you had several out-of-towners that come in just for this weekend. One from Virginia. I heard a couple others from out of state. But a nice event that we probably should do a little bit more with. I'm thinking we should promote that a bit more in the future. What this had started with was alumni being high school graduates from Auburn High School, which was, Auburn was in business as a high school, as a school system from 1906 to 1953, when it then merged with Bainbridge, and I just found out yesterday, eventually became Kenston. That name didn't, that wasn't the original name when the merger first happened. It came a couple of years later, I guess, when they created the new name. Anyway, so now it's been opened up to anybody that attended Auburn School for any grade whatsoever. And there were several of us that you know, a lot, well, most all of us actually were just part-timers at Auburn and eventual graduates from Kenston, but I think that opens it up for a lot more people. There's some fun stories from old times, and we missed you there, Mike. I went first, second, third grade with him over there, so we'll look forward to doing more with that event. I really sincerely hope that does pick up some steam again.
A lot of fun.
It was fun. It was fun. That's all. I just wanted to throw that 2 cents in.
Okay, any additional comments, criticisms? Good. All right, save the date. 5/24/26, Memorial Event, 8:45 a.m. at Maple Shade, 9 a.m. at Adam Hall, 10 a.m. at Shady Side. 6/4 and 6/5, Senior Trash Light, large item trash event. Must pre-register, 440-279-2130. 6/6 will be the large.
Let me interrupt you there too, because there's some other piece of business I was going to do tonight. Dan,
I'm not reminding you.
I know. Dan, we talked earlier in your office there about putting upwards of 2 temporary help here. It'd be seasonal help for this cleanup day event. There's one that's kind of a soft commitment already. We're hoping to get another guy, $20 per hour, and that would be seasonal through the Saturday of cleanup day. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to make that motion.
Second.
PJ,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Now I'm done.
Okay, again, 6/6 will be the large trash drop-off. What are the hours on that, confirming here? They don't seem to be.
We used to do 8 to 1. Used to be 8 to 1.
Okay.
I think the website says 9 to 1.
No, it should,
I thought that-
it may say that, but it should be 8 usually.
It was always 8 to 1.
I snapped it. I might be talking wrong. I don't know.
Okay, 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
It says 8 to 1 currently.
8 to 1.
Correct.
I guarantee you they'll be lining up at 6:30 when we started. So.
And some people will be dumping it off at midnight, so. All right, July 3rd, Auburn Bainbridge fireworks at the Kenston High School campus. That typically starts about 5 o'clock. They have the games up there and the food vendors, and the fireworks will be at dusk. Rain date is 7/6. July 4th, the annual 4th of July parade, also no time on here, that would be 11 o'clock. And then there will be hot dogs and other things made by the scouts on afterwards at the fire station. Okay, anything else? Everybody ready for bed? All right, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
PJ,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.
General question, the silly question, the parade is already approved though, because it's here, it's happening. Because one of the guys that helps orchestrate it wanted to get it officially approved. So it's already officially approved? I think there's just a misunderstanding. I'll just get back to him and let him know it's already showing as scheduled, so it's approved.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just do that.